What are you doing here?
You killed the last member of the cult. Well, just about.
What?
Welcome to MojoPlays. Today we're looking at the 10 worst plot twists in Assassin's Creed.
It is done. The way lies all before you. Only she remains to be found.
Maybe everything shouldn't be permitted.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Evie is into Henry Green, Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
If you would give me your hand in matrimony.
Yes.
The previous entry in the series gave us a grand Romeo and Juliet style love story with Arno and Elise, the doomed lovers. Ubisoft decided to go back to the well of romance for Assassin's Creed Syndicate, but someone clearly wasn't all that committed to it. The romance between Evie Fry and Henry Green is terribly set up. Though Jacob does make snide remarks about Evie having a crush on Green throughout the game, there's no real evidence that this is true. Not until they inexplicably get together at the end, that is. We're not sure why anybody thought audiences would buy this relationship when minimal effort seems to have been put into writing it, and they have no chemistry whatsoever.
I think you belong in the field. With me.
Pythagoras is your father. Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
My name is Pythagoras. I'm your father.
As a figure in Greek history that everybody in the world knows thanks to high school math class, Ubisoft was desperate to find a way to shoehorn Pythagoras into Odyssey. After all, in a game where you can fight Medusa and a Minotaur, why shouldn't you also bump into the triangle guy? The problem is that Pythagoras lived a few centuries before Odyssey, so to get around that, Ubisoft made the Staff of Hermes give immortality to its owner. That's how he's still around, and that's how he was able to have a liaison with Cassandra's mother, continuing the Isu lineage. Not only was the revelation that Pythagoras is actually your dad just plain weird, but so was the fact he's an optional boss as well.
I will not let you have it. I don't want it! I want it destroyed! Liar!
Alfred the Great was a Templar. Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
As I understand, King Alfred, your name is not spoken with affection here in Mercia.
Yet I am close enough to Wessex to hear myself praised from morn till twilight.
This franchise loves to take historical figures and morph them into its own personal heroes and villains, and Alfred the Great got the same treatment in Valhalla. Alfred doesn't like the Order of Ancients because it's a little too pagan for his Christian heart, but it's him who eventually transforms it into the Knights Templar anyway. So, though he helps Eivor to get rid of them, he replaces them with a near-identical organization. Aside from this being historically inaccurate because Alfred died about 200 years before the First Crusade and the real formation of the Knights Templar, it's also inconsistent with what we know about Alfred. He remains one of Britain's most celebrated kings, who aimed to bring literacy and education to his subjects, not at all particularly evil.
In time, all those who accept God will flourish, and all those who defy him will fall away.
Caesar is the father of understanding. Assassin's Creed Origins.
Now let us discuss our alliance. What is this?
Forgive, Lord Caesar. We bring a gift from our pharaoh, Cleopatra.
Pharaoh? This is no gift. These are my sister's friends. It is a trap.
We heard the Templars mention the Father of Understanding many times in previous games, pledging their loyalty to him as if he were a deity. But then, in Origins, it was revealed that Julius Caesar was the Father of Understanding. Now, this isn't a bad twist or plot point in principle, but the reason it makes our list is that it actually didn't amount to anything. You'd think revealing that one of the most famous historical figures of all time and Rome's most well-known leader was a major part of the Order would have gotten a little more attention in the rest of the series. But Aya assassinates Caesar shortly after, and you barely hear the Father of Understanding mentioned again. It all fell very flat.
My sister. I will kill every last Roman in Alexandria.
You survive the fall. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Mount Taygetos towers over Sparta to this day and is one of the tallest peaks in Greece. It's thousands of feet high, and in the opening scene of Odyssey, Cassandra and Alexios will both be thrown from high up the mountain. One of them is a young child, while the other is a baby, and miraculously, they both survived. The game could have explained this as it being something to do with their Isu blood, but no, it goes completely forgotten. Some characters do remark on Cassandra's notoriety as a Spartan child who survived being dropped from the top of Taygetos, but you never actually find out how neither of them died.
Cassandra!
The IT guy is a sage. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
See, that file you acquired? I wouldn't recommend watching it. I mean, you could, but it's unpleasant. So once you hand it off, just pretend this never happened, okay?
After Desmond finally ate it at the end of Assassin's Creed 3, we were in need of a new protagonist. And who better to replace Nolan North than an unnamed QA tester with no voice actor who spends their time out of the Animus collecting post-it notes around the office. The only thing really keeping you engaged in the Abstergo segments is John, the IT guy, whose face you never see, but who asks you to do a lot of shady things. Eventually, you discover that John is, in fact, a sage, a type of reincarnated Isu only introduced during this game, the other of whom players would recognize as Black Bart. Incidentally, after Unity, the game sort of forgot the sages existed at all, though endless generations of reincarnated Isu would later return in Valhalla.
Guide me into the grave, beloved! I am your instrument! Put the gun down! Drop it! Drop your weapon!
Aspasia is the ghost of Cosmos. Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
So, you've seen it too then. It's beautiful, isn't it?
During the extremely lengthy quest where you're tasked with eradicating the cult of Cosmos from ancient Greece, you'll slowly but surely unmask the cult's many agents and gather clues on the leader's identity. It eventually becomes pretty obvious who the ghost must be, but you'll finally discover that it's none other than Aspasia, Pericles' mistress you met way earlier in the game. Again, this plot twist absolutely could have worked, but the problem is in the execution. Aspasia not only helps the protagonist numerous times during the game, but also doesn't seem too into the whole Cult of Cosmos thing when she's finally unmasked. In fact, she wanted you to destroy them, and she bafflingly becomes a potential romance option. She just wanted to worship her ethereal pyramid in peace.
I can't let you do this. You've caused so much damage. You destroyed the Greek world.
You've proven you have no understanding of what we're doing. I misjudged you.
So did I.
You caused the Lisbon earthquake. Assassin's Creed Rogue. The Americas trilogy of games just couldn't decide which side to be on. Were the Templars and Assassins just as bad as each other? Did the Templars really have a point? Or should we continue putting faith in the Brotherhood? Rogue's answer to that question was to determine that the Assassins were the bad guys, not caring about the collateral damage caused by their endless hunt for pieces of Eden. When Shay Cormac retrieves a piece of Eden during the game's prologue, it causes the real-life Lisbon earthquake of 1755. It's pretty tactless to use a genuine earthquake that killed tens of thousands of people as a plot device like this.
I will not let this happen again! All those souls lost! One more hardly matters. Shay!
Lucy is a triple agent. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Wait, we're at the Auditore Villa.
Yes, it's our last safe house in Italy. It turns out the Templars are watching the border.
Yet again, we have a case of an interesting idea that the writers really didn't follow through with. Desmond being manipulated into killing Lucy at the end of Brotherhood is definitely the biggest, most memorable plot twist in the series. We thought we'd get answers when the follow-up rolled around the next year, But no. It eventually had to be explained in a log you could easily miss during Revelations that yes, Lucy was a Templar all along. It would have been nice if they could have explained this properly during Brotherhood, but after her death, it was almost like they wanted to wipe her from the lore. Some believed that Lucy's sudden death and the lack of explanation around it was because of disagreements with Kristen Bell behind the scenes, but it's still not clear what, if anything, is true about this.
It was the apple, son. It was Juno.
I saw what she was. What would happen if I let her live?
The Isu are all gods and all mythology. Various.
Well, the Malaka's Minotaur. And here we go!
Many die-hard Assassin's Creed fans are of the opinion that the games became unrecognizable beginning with Origins, and plenty cite the turn towards mythology and monsters as a key reason the series has become out of touch with itself. The constant twists in the Layla Hassan games that every mythological creature was real and somehow created by the Isu is getting tiresome. Not only are the Isu themselves revealed to be every single god in a wide range of mythology, from Norse myth to ancient Greece to being the basis of the actual Bible, but their strange experiments also created every legendary creature and cryptid that ever existed. Not every piece of folklore needs to be explained away, and not every character has to be a reincarnated Isu.
From the life tree we go. To the life tree we shall one day return.
Check out these other great clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.